The night was eerily silent, and a thick fog covered the desolate road. 4 friends, Ryan, Alex, Mark, and Jake, were returning from a road trip, enjoying their drive through the countryside. The road stretched endlessly ahead, surrounded by dense trees that swayed ominously in the cold breeze. Suddenly, the car jerked, and the engine sputtered before coming to a dead stop. "What the hell?" Ryan muttered, turning the key, but the car refused to start. Alex, who had some knowledge of cars, got out and opened the hood. He inspected the engine with a flashlight. "Damn it, looks like it overheated or something. We might be stuck here for a while." Mark sighed and looked around. That's when he noticed a massive old graveyard on the side of the road. The entrance was marked by a rusted iron gate, slightly ajar. The tombstones inside were ancient and crumbling, some covered in vines, while others looked freshly disturbed. "Guys, this place gives me a really bad feeling," Jake murmured, hugging himself as a cold shiver ran down his spine. Mark smirked. "Come on, Jake, don't tell me you're scared of a few graves." Jake frowned. "No, but something about this place feels wrong." Ryan pulled out his phone, hoping to call for help, but the screen flashed, "No service." "Great," he muttered. "No signal. Looks like we're on our own." Alex sighed. "Maybe there's an old caretaker's house inside. We could find a landline or something." Left with no better options, they decided to explore the graveyard. As soon as they stepped inside, an eerie silence fell upon them. The wind stopped blowing, the trees stood unnaturally still, and the only sound was their footsteps crunching over dried leaves. Suddenly, Jake froze. "Did you hear that?" A faint whisper echoed through the graveyard. "Leave, while you still can." Before anyone could react, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence. They turned to see Jake being dragged into the darkness by an invisible force. He thrashed violently, his fingers clawing at the ground as he struggled. "Help me!" Jake screamed, his voice filled with sheer terror. Ryan lunged forward to grab him, but before he could, Jake vanished, his screams fading into nothingness. All that remained was his flashlight, flickering weakly on the damp earth. "Jesus Christ," Alex whispered, his voice shaking. "What the hell just happened? We need to get the hell out of here." Ryan gasped. Panic set in, and the 3 remaining friends ran toward the car. But when they reached it, they found the doors were locked from the inside. "What the hell? We didn't even lock them," Mark shouted, yanking at the handle. Then, a chilling voice whispered around them. "You shouldn't have come here." Mark turned around, his face going pale as he saw something horrifying, a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes standing just a few feet away. It had no clear form, just an overwhelming darkness, shifting and pulsing like living smoke. Before he could react, the entity lunged at him. A bone-chilling scream echoed through the graveyard as Mark was lifted into the air by an unseen force. His body twisted violently, his limbs snapping at unnatural angles before he was torn apart in midair. His blood splattered across the tombstones. His body fell to the ground, lifeless. Ryan and Alex stood frozen, their minds refusing to process what they had just witnessed. Then, without warning, the graveyard gate slammed shut behind them. "We're trapped," Alex whispered in horror. Alex spotted a broken part of the graveyard wall. "There, we can climb out." Without hesitation, he ran toward it and started climbing. But as he reached the top, a rotting, skeletal hand shot out from the earth and grabbed his ankle. "Ryan, help me!" Alex screamed, kicking frantically. Ryan grabbed his hand, pulling with all his strength. But something far stronger was pulling Alex down. Within seconds, the ground beneath him cracked open, revealing a dark, bottomless void. Alex let out one final, blood-curdling scream before he was dragged into the abyss. The ground sealed itself shut as if nothing had ever happened. Now, Ryan was the only one left. Ryan stumbled backward, his breath ragged. No, this isn't real, it's a nightmare." A sinister whisper brushed against his ear. "You are the last one, but not for long." Ryan turned and ran for his life. His feet pounded against the ground as he sprinted toward the graveyard gate. To his shock, the gate was now wide open. Without hesitation, he bolted through it, never daring to look back. After running for what felt like an eternity, he reached the road. Just then, a pair of headlights appeared in the distance. A car was approaching. Ryan stumbled onto the road, waving frantically. "Stop, please." The car skidded to a halt, and an old man rolled down the window. He looked at Ryan with a mix of confusion and fear. "You," the old man whispered. "You're alive," Ryan panted, his body trembling. "My friends, they're all dead. Something in that graveyard took them." The old man's face turned ashen. He stared at Ryan for a long moment before whispering, "Son, that graveyard has been abandoned for over 50 years. Ryan's breath caught in his throat. What do you mean?" The old man pointed toward where the graveyard should have been. Ryan turned around, and his blood ran cold. The graveyard was gone. There was nothing but an empty, open field. No tombstones. No rusted gates. No sign that it had ever been there. Ryan's entire body shook as a horrifying realization dawned on him. He had survived, but at what cost? Some places should never be disturbed. Some mysteries should remain unsolved. Because once you step into the realm of the dead, you may never truly leave.